What I'm trying to do here is recreate the Knight Rider voice box in KITT from the TV show of Knight Rider. Part 1 is the prototype, which you can see in front of you. This is the, obviously you can see here, is the first middle bar of his voice box. Here then you have a simple microphone amplifier, and here this cable then goes out to any audio output device such as a MP3 player, or in my case, as you'll see in part 2, I've built a piece of software which responds to my voice, and KITT responds to whatever I say given a set of commands. So for example, if I said to him, introduce yourself, he would then say that he is the Knight Industry 2000 KITT. But you'll see that in part 2, which I hope to produce in the next couple of days. Right, to begin with, you can see here is the basic setup of his voice box system. Obviously here is will simulate a 12 volt output, which will then feed through to here, which will display on this bar here. This bar is an exact mirror copy, meaning that it's a 10 bar graph, but it is mirrored on another one, given the effect. Unfortunately, I couldn't add the other 2 bars on here because of obviously restrictions in this prototyping board. There was no way of doing it unless obviously damaging the board. So if we begin by, for example, if I now turn on that, this applies power to this unit now. Okay, you can see here is a very simple male to male jack, 3.5mm. Here is a simple MP3 player. Okay, there you go. Okay, this I will just use for an example purposes. Okay, now what I'm going to do is plug that simply right into there, turn that on. Okay, we wait for that to load, and you should see now you have the lights. Okay, now if I dim the lights, you'll be able to see it a lot easier. Okay, wait a second, I'll just put this on repeat a minute, so obviously it repeats the same thing over again just for purposes of showing you. Okay, right, now that's done, I'll dim the lights so you can see the full effect. In a minute. There you go. Okay, but obviously you can see now that you don't know what's happening because you can't hear no sound. Okay, all that's playing is the Knight Rider theme tune, but you wouldn't know that because there's no sound output on it. So what I have here, I'll just put the lights back up for you. Okay, what I have, I'll just stop this for now. What I have is a simple mono amplifier, okay, with an 8 ohm speaker attached. It's only mono, but it'll do for what I need it for. Okay, so now what we can see is if we plug this into here, like this, okay, this cable is just connected to the other side of the audio amplifier, which makes this one run from the port inwards. So now if I turn this one on, that supplies power to that, and that's ready to run. So now if I play this, you will see, now you can hear it. Okay, I'll dim the lights again. Now obviously the louder I set it, I'll just zoom into the voice box unit a minute. Unfortunately you can't see that very well. I'll just try and adjust that for you a second. There you go. Now you can see, just repeat again now. Okay. Right, so you've got the basic gist of that now. Okay. Now I'll quickly show you what will happen if I connect. Now if I disconnect this, I'll just zoom this out for you a second. There you go, right. I disconnect that now, okay, and I will supply now power to, if I can find the cable, I will now supply power to the microphone. Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. Now, as you can see, as I speak into the microphone, it's basically amplifying the signals and putting it through exactly the same way as I showed you with the MP3 player. This sometimes can be a bit tricky. It has been rather temperamental at the moment for some reason. I'm just trying to get all the values right, but hopefully that should do it. I've been working on the designs. I'll just switch this one off for you a second. Okay, I've been working on the designs for the PCB layout, and you can see here. I don't know if you can see it very well. I'll just try and zoom that in a bit for you. Okay, there you go. That's the general layout for his front board. That houses the startup sequencer, lights, and the actual bar graphs itself. There you go. Has another version of it there. Okay. Now the next one I have to show you is the main board. Okay. This will sit underneath it. Okay. This here you can see. This is your driver here for the bar graph. Here is your microphone amplifier, your audio transformer, and all of these along the bottom are actually thyristors. These will be used for the startup sequencer, which runs the lights down the side of his voice box when KITT eventually starts up. If you're not really completely sure what I'm on about, if you go onto YouTube and have a look at another one of my videos called KITT Voice Box Startup Sequence, okay, have a look under that and you'll see what I mean. Okay, that's just using a general PIC chip, okay, which is also housed on here. What I've also done now is produced it again, but just put all the components on it so you can see what it's going to look like. Okay, the other two bar graphs obviously are sat on the board here, but they'll sit there. You've obviously got all your lights down the side. I'm sorry, like that. Okay. In the next part I'll show you will be the actual software I've built. I'll show you that and every possibility that it has, and I'll actually hook it up to this one as well. The next part after that then will be the hopeful production of this being put onto the PCB and that, and then part 4 will be the finished product. Okay, so I hope to produce these in the next couple of days, so just keep your eyes out on the website and you'll see them pop up. Okay, that's all from me now. Thank you, goodbye.